to another WebDev lesson. Today we're going to be covering more HTML stuff, and we're going to be covering some link tags. We're going to cover linking to external websites or linking within your own website. Well, we'll get to that later. And we're going to talk about properties on elements. We're going to talk about IDs, what they are, and we're going to talk about linking to IDs on a page. So, hopefully by this point you've downloaded the exercise from GitHub and you've watched the 3 videos that were before this, otherwise none of this is going to make any sense. Okay, let's go ahead and get into some code. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start here. We're going to go ahead and open our exercise folder. We're going to go open our index.html and we're going to open it with Sublime Text, just like I did there. And this is what it should look like from last time. Well, actually, it should not look like this because it should look a little different, because the assignment from last time was to kind of make it your own and start to build with your theme, right? So this was all just example stuff. We were showing off paragraph tags and stuff like that, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this here, and I'm going to assume that you don't have this. Okay, that yours looks the way that you want it to look. Alright? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and open this HTML file with Chrome, our browser. Okay, so now that your HTML file is open in your browser, this file here, we opened it up, and you can actually see your path to it, which is good. Inside this exercise 1 folder, and blah, 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 blah. Alright, so we're going to learn about a few things here, and we're going to learn by doing it. So, what I want to do is, let's say I want to connect this site, or I want to link something inside of here, link it to something else. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to link it to this. Alright, so we're going to link it to this page here because I personally think it fits in rather nicely. So we're going to go ahead and copy this URL, and we're going to go into here, and let's say we have the word click here to see the definition, for those who don't know what puppies are, of puppy. The definition of puppies. And so we might say click, maybe we'll make the click here the link, right? So if we save this and then we go back and we refresh our page, that's a little hard to see, but the link is going to fix that too. So let's see if we'll run a search. There it is. So here's our click here to see the definition of puppies, right? So what we're going to do is we are going to link using a link tag. Now, this tag, unlike the rest of them, this one doesn't make a lot of sense. It actually does not mean what you think it means. It's not link as in L. It's actually A, and A stands for anchor. So this is actually our anchor tag. Oddly enough, it's not called a link tag. It's called an anchor tag. So we have our anchor tag. Now, what are we going to do here? Okay, we've got an anchor tag. Great. What does that do for us? Let's refresh the page and see if anything shows up. Not really. So up till this point, we've had, we surround whatever we want and we mark it up. By the way, I don't think I ever mentioned this, and this is a good thing to know. What does HTML stand for? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's a text markup language that marks up our text. So what we've been doing here is we've been marking up our text and changing the way our text looks and all that stuff, and that's great. And all we've had to do is surround it. Well, now we're moving into a whole different ball game. We're going to go inside of our tag, and we are going to type something else. What is this black magic? This is a property. This href is a property of our A anchor tag, or a link tag, okay? This is our href property. So what we're going to do is inside of our property tag, or href property, we are going to copy and paste the link to whatever we're trying to link to. So let's go here and we're going to put that in and we'll save, and here's the magic. You ready for this? Boom! Look at that! It's showing us that we can click on it. Cool. So I'm going to go ahead and click it. Oh no! Where's our page? I think we want it to open in another page. So we're going to use another property, and this property is called target. We're going to say target and equals, quotation marks, underbar blank. And all that means is it's going to open in a new blank tab so that it doesn't overwrite our current tag. If I don't refresh, watch what happens. Overwrites our current tag. We really don't want that. So now let me refresh the page after I've saved, and now you see it opens in a new tab. So that's good. That's what we want. Alright? For off-site links that go to other sites, we usually want it to open in a new tab so that people aren't confused. And so that they can still browse around on our website without clicking a back arrow or what have you. Alright, so we've just learned two properties, our href property and our target property, which is pretty dang awesome, okay? Those are two very helpful properties, and hopefully I've introduced you to the world of properties. A lot of these are going to have properties, so we'll talk about all that later. So we've talked about linking to external web pages, right? We've linked to Wikipedia. Great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my p tag here, and I'm going to start a new paragraph here. So of course I'll probably enter down here. And what we're going to do is we're going to enter this down a little bit. And I'm not going to make the whole thing a link, so I'm going to make this, what have we got? We've got an H3 up here, so let me make this an H4. So we're going to put an H4 here because it's part of the content. Alright, so now let's refresh, and great. We've got our thing, and I'm a grammar Nazi, so I'm going to fix that. Alright. There we go. Okay. Cool. That's a little bit better. Now we can clearly see that this is a link and it's going somewhere else. Okay, cool. Awesome. So now what we're going to do is we are going to talk about IDs, okay? And this is just like a fun random fact. I just think it'll be something that you'll like. It's not at all something you need to know, but we are going to talk a little bit about it. First of all, to demonstrate my point, I need to make so much content on this page that it forces the page to scroll. So if I save this and I refresh, I now have to scroll to find the content. And I'm going to copy another paragraph just so it's not super boring. Alright, that's a little better. Okay, it's not readable or nice or pretty, but it gets our point across for what I'm about to show you next. Let's say that I'm here. Okay, and I want to click a link that takes me to a certain section. Okay, well, let's create sections. Let's say this particular point, let's make this an H3 because I think it's of H3 importance on the page. Okay, just like how this talks about contact us using the contact page, I say this is as important as that. So, learn about helping local shelter pets. I'm taking this theme all the way to the end. And then we'll put another one here that says another H3, and we'll say learn what are turtles. I don't know. I'm out of ideas here. I'm just gonna say what are turtles, because why not? And another section here that says we love taking care of animals because we're awesome people. Alright, so now we refresh and we can see there are some subsections here, which is fantastic. Now, excuse me, what I'm going to do is up at the top, no, before we do that, I know, this is a lot to take in. I hope you're with me so far. All we've done is we've created some H3s just to section off some of our content, okay? Don't let this like get super confusing and like freak out. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. I'm demonstrating a point. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fill in a property on our H3 called ID, and I'm gonna say this ID is helping. Okay. I'm also gonna say ID turtles. Okay, and I'm gonna say ID love animals, and rather than that, I'm gonna use that. Okay, so what are these IDs? Hopefully it kind of makes sense to you. We're IDing an element. The thing with these IDs, and it's really cool and it's a fantastic idea, you can only use these IDs once. So you can guarantee, well, I mean, obviously, you have to account for user error. You might accidentally put the same ID twice, which you shouldn't, okay? IDs are meant to be a very unique, special thing that is only used once. So you'll never see another Turtles ID on the entire page, or you shouldn't if you're doing it correctly, okay? So this way, we can actually link to our specific sections. So I'm going to say right under this, I want to create a couple links, okay? And I want to say, let's make an H3, and I'm going to say, click a link below to jump to a specific specific section. All right. And no period here because it just would look weird. All right. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to put in a couple anchor tags, right? We're going to make the first one link to helping. Okay, and we're going to put in ID. This is our ID symbol. See this pound sign? Not hashtag, it's pound, okay? The pound sign stands for ID, all right? And if you've done the CSS class, which you shouldn't have, honestly, HTML, you should learn that before CSS. But you're going to use IDs maybe a little bit in CSS, probably not. You'll use it a lot in JavaScript. But this is the symbol for ID, okay? So we're simply going to link to the ID helping, which is cool, right? And we're going to say, okay, help shelter pets. All right. And now what we're going to do is we're going to create another anchor tag. And we're going to link this one to helping shelter pets, turtles. Turtles. What are turtles? We can literally put the whole thing. It doesn't matter what you put in here. What are turtles? Turtles, question mark. Okay, and last, but certainly not least, what's our ID here? Let's just grab that. Love animals. And we'll say here. And what we'll do is we love taking care of animals. We love animals. All right, save and go back and refresh. And look at this. When we do help shelter pets, there we go. And what are turtles? There we go. And we love animals. And it's a little hard to see. If I have more content in each thing, you'd really see it. But it does link to each specific section based on your links. So, there we go. We've talked about a lot of really cool things. We've talked about your link tags. We've talked about properties, right? We've talked about the href property on your anchor tags. We've talked about target as well. We talked about your ID property on pretty much, you can put ID on any of these elements. So that's universal. And what else did we talk about? We talked about IDs. so yeah, there we go. Bit of a quick lesson, but I just thought it'd be cool to demonstrate some more of these, just some more random things like these links. You're going to use these. Properties is a big thing. Properties are very important. And IDs you'll use a little bit. In this case, they make a lot of sense to help you link to all this stuff pretty quickly. Before we move on, though, I do want to add a little link down here that links us back to the top. So we haven't created this yet, but I'm going to say top, and I'm going to say go back to top. And now I'm going to grab my probably the highest one, and I'm just going to say ID, and I'm going to give it an ID of top. And save, and refresh. And so now if I jump down to the last one, aha, go back to top. There we go. All right, so that one's very clear to see. We Love Animals takes you all the way down here. And you can also see, which is cool, up here in the URL, you can link to those. So if I change this URL and I say top, there you go. And like if I link this and I say top again, and then I go back up and I say let's link this to turtles. Okay, there's no such thing. I spelled it wrong. Turtles. There we go. It does work. So yeah, there you go. Those are that's a bunch of stuff we talked about. So what I want you to do now is I want you to take your website and implement those on your site that you should have started working on by now. Okay? Implement some links to external sites. Okay? Implement your the href. Okay? And your IDs. You can certainly do IDs. You don't have to. IDs are kind of optional. You may not need it. You might think it's really cool and do it. That's fantastic. Get as much experience as you can, I say. And maybe your target blank, which if you're linking to an external page, it's really a great idea to do that. All right, cool. Nice. Well, we covered a lot of content in that video. I hope you got it all. Hopefully it all kind of sunk in, or at least made some semblance of sense. If you're confused on anything, of course, go to the contact page. You should join this Slack group just because, even if you don't have questions, there's going to be a lot of fun, chats going on in there and stuff. So I highly recommend you just join the Slack group anyways. Plus, you'll get notified if there are new classes on the website, which is, why not? That's cool, right? So, again, questions, go there and start working on that assignment that I mentioned earlier in this video. Start implementing what we talked about. So our anchor tags, our linking to external websites, properties, use all those properties we talked about. IDs are optional, but hey, they're really cool, so I would use them. All right, cool, good luck, and we'll see you in the next video.